Well, they're certainly socially monogamous. That is, they give all the indications that they're a monogamous pair. They can live for 30 years. If you're going to spend a lot of time with one mate, you want to be sure that that's a good mate and that they can, they're a good parent and you're going to be able to raise your chicks successfully. The yellow pattern or colours in the plumage are actually carotenoid based. They get that from the fish because they can't construct that particular pigment themselves, and that indicates to a mate the hunting ability. So if you're a handsome guy with a nest there and you're trying to find yourself a wife, then you dress yourself up in as much yellow plumage as possible.
Yes, the land is you. This land is me. This land of blue. This land of green. And I am you. You are me. Beneath the stars, beside the sea, sonata fenua, it's you and me, people of the land, hand in hand.
For a rookery, you need to have no rats, no cats, no people, no dogs. Somewhere that's above the water so that you can actually launch into the air to take off and fly. So they're fairly limited places.
Symbol of it being out there is so important. Driving down the beach from Kingston to Cape Jaffa, seeing that symbol, even the platform out there on the horizon, leave the symbol there. The gannets want to nest there, leave the gannets there. People want to fish around it, let people fish around it.
And then there was the argument that, well, there's a public liability question. Perhaps people will try and climb the platform and they'll injure themselves. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty ridiculous. In all the 35 years I've been fishing down there, I think only on one occasion have I seen someone on that lighthouse platform.
Just one morning I heard on the ABC radio that they were going to demolish it, that final steps were in process, and I hit the alarm button. So I packed up a tent and battery and a phone and provisions for several days and camped a protest camp on the platform. I had food and water and gear for 5 days, probably could have gone longer. In fact, I'd only been there 3 hours and the police were calling me up to get me off. If I didn't obey that directive, then I would have been arrested prior to dawn the following morning. That kind of put a stay on the execution of the platform for a year.
I wrote to state and federal departments, the heritage departments, the transport departments, Ship Owners Association. I didn't get a very rewarding response from any of them. It more or less was like banging my head up against a brick wall.
To me, the platform became a symbol of HIH and insurance and people being sued and public liability, and I just wanted to make a stand against that. Politically, I actually wanted to say, look, come on, shit happens, there are risks in life. If you want to get out there and enjoy that thing, there is going to be some risks associated with it. We're not going to take it away just because there's a risk. We have to manage the risk. And so when Robert Mock and others started talking about saving it, my motivation was not to give people an excuse to take it down.
Ultimately, there was a private members bill got passed in the South Australian Parliament, which simply says that the owners of the platform will not suffer public risk.
And I was proud in Parliament to get up and say I support this legislation, because it's actually now taking away an excuse that the owner of the platform had to remove it. Take away the excuse, then the platform will survive for all of the people that want that symbol there.
It's not about our group or about me. It's really about the platform, and it's important to allow people who are making the decisions to get the credit. So it's just a different way of looking at how to win. The platform's been there 130 years. It's finished its usefulness as a beacon, and I see no reason, and I think the community are with me on this, that there's no reason to remove it. The gannets enjoy it. It's not hurting anybody. It's just a great way of nature actually absorbing some of man's waste. It's too often that it works the other way. Too often nature has to tolerate man, but in this case, man can turn the tables and give the gannets a lovely home. I see a great future. I think that man is now coming more aware of the environment and the repercussions of our place on Earth, and I see in a general sense an awakening of the relationships. So I think the future is really good.
Won't you go and find a little bit of something that makes you want to fly away? Just find yourself a little bit of loving, will keep the devil's hand at bay. And dreaming our lives away sometimes lead us all astray. I hope that when I'm leaving this earth, I'm believing that we could all fly away. Make time, make time. I hope that when I'm leaving this earth, I'm believing that we could all fly away.